Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to host your own interactive pub quiz using Zoom and a crowd engagement platform called Crowdpurr. Let's do this. So welcome back. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button. If you've been here before, you'll know I've been doing a series of videos on Zoom. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit now, a bit more enjoyment. Now Zoom is an ideal platform to keep in touch with friends and family. It's also ideal for a bit of entertainment as well. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to combine Zoom with Crowdpurr, which is classed as a crowd engagement platform. And we're going to show you how to build and host your own interactive pub quiz. There's no pen and paper needed. Ideally, your participants will need a phone and a laptop or PC or tablet as well to get the most out of it. This will all be free. This will be using both free tiers on both Zoom and Crowdpurr. As you probably know, on Zoom there is paid tiers, and it's the same with Crowdpurr. You can pay for more features, but we'll explore that in the video. So how we're going to do this? We're going to log into Crowdpurr first. We're going to set up an account, log in on the free tier, quickly go through the paid tiers, but then we're going to create 3 individual quiz rounds within the constraints of the free tier. I'm going to show you a couple of my ideas that I've used in the past using other programs such as PowerPoint. Once all that's done, we're going to open up Zoom and I'll show you how to integrate them both. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. Let's build that quiz. Okay, before we get onto Zoom, this is what we're going to use to set up the quiz. We're going to use a platform called Crowdpurr, which is an audience engagement platform. There's many more out there. You don't have to use Crowdpurr. It's one I prefer to use. If you search for Crowdpurr in Google, it comes up. Top result. Click on there. I'll take you to this screen. Before we log in, I'll just show you the pricing. Like I say, we are going to use, this is a free quiz. Should you use the free tier on Zoom and the free tier in Crowdpurr, feel free to spend what you want, depending on your needs. The free basic plan within Crowdpurr allows you only 20 participants per experience. Think of experience per a round of a quiz or per quiz. So that only allows 20, only 10 questions, which is fine, and it only allows you to store up to 3 simultaneous experiences. So you can type out 3 rounds of a quiz and you can only store 3 at a time. You'd have to delete one to have another one. There is a way around this if you want more than 3 and still stay on the free tier. We'll go through that in a bit. And you get enough features to be able to run a decent quiz over Zoom with friends and family. Absolutely no dramas with that. If you do need some more, that's when you go up to the $50 a month plan and you get a hell of a lot more features. Should you need more than that, then you carry on. But we're only going to do this. We're staying on the free tier. That's what we're going to do. So from the home screen, if you click on try now, enter your email, enter your first name and create a password. Okay, so once you're logged in, do check your email inbox, maybe the junk folder. You'll get an activation email. I do think you can still carry on without activating though. That's just for reference. This will take you to this page. These are different things you can do within Crowdpurr. You got your crowd trivia, your crowd polls and your social walls. These are all tiers for the paid tiers, which are more social engagement with companies and big conferences, that sort of stuff. All we're bothered about is the points timer trivia. You could do these. I've not used them. The survivor trivia is the same as a points timer, except if you get it wrong, you're out, and last man standing, that sort of type of stuff. And teams, you do it in teams. All we're going to use is points per trivia. You click on create. This is what you'll get to. Now, like I said, on the free tier, you can have a maximum of 10 questions. So, might as well use it. But again, that's up to you if you want less than 10. Now, they do come with preset categories. If you just want to use their categories, you want to set a quiz up quite quickly, just choose one of these and use that. However, I suspect most of you will want to write your own. So, if you select write your own, have a look down at the 10 question multiple choice trivia. Click on add, and then we'll go to next. Set playback mode. I'll go into this a little bit more detail later on, but you really want to select the host controlled mode. That means you control everything of the host, the speed of the game, when the next question comes up, all sorts of stuff. If you go on fully automatic, as soon as you click play, the quiz will run from question 1 to question 10 automatically with no break in between the questions. And you know what quizzes are like. Can I have this one again? Can I have that? There's chatting in between. Just go for host controlled, and it's maybe a lot easier and more interactive as well. If you're having an interactive quiz, especially on Zoom, that's what you want. A little bit social. Okay, once you've done that, go there and edit the name. We'll just call it a YouTube quiz. You can put a description in there if you want, that's up to you. And when you're ready, rock and roll. That will take you to this screen. Now this screen is the hub. You've got your 10 questions listed along here like this, and all we're going to do is you ask a question. You type what question you want to ask. There you go. That's a question, right? Yeah. And then you have the 4 answers. You select with the star which one is the correct answer. But you need to enter the answers in there. So the correct answer to that question is definitely yes. And obviously there are incorrect answers such as and we'll add another. Okay, but you get the idea. Type out your question, 4 answers, star the one which is the correct answer, and that's your question set up. I'm not going to go through everything. What you can do is you can change the colour of the answers, and you can remove an answer. So it's set up as default with 4 answers. If you remove that, it'll obviously go to 3 answers. And down the bottom you can add an answer, so you can add, I don't know, but there you go, there's 6 answers. So that's entirely up to you. 4 is the most common one. I'll stick with 4. And that's all you do. You go through and you add your 10 questions. Once all 10 have been answered or set up, we'll go through the trivia settings in a minute. But like I said before, you can only store 3 experiences. Now I've already put 2 in here. A movies, a sports. They're just the ones that you can choose from the start that Crowdpurr have pre-wrote for you. You can only have 3 at a time, so these are the 3. You're at your maximum. Each experience or quiz gets its own separate code. This is how people log into the quiz. Okay, so if we go to round 1, so this will be round 1. Round 1 will be movies. Before we go and start the quiz, I'll just show you some settings. Before you start your quiz, I suggest you go into game trivia settings. Again, I'm not going to go into all of them, but points mode, this is what I use. Basically what it is you get points per answer, and the quicker you answer, the more points you get. Points mode is the default setting, so I'd leave it on that. You can change it. There's tooltips against everything. If you're not sure what it is, have a read of the tooltips. Percentage mode is the person that got the most right. Problem with these percentage quiz, you often get ties. If there's only 10 questions, people can get the same amount of questions correct. With points mode, you'd have to be very unlucky to get a tie, especially with decreasing points timer. Okay, we'll go into that now. So points mode options, turn this on. It's set on by default, decreasing points timer. All that means, as soon as a question comes up, the timer starts. Once that timer starts counting down, the points start going down. So the quicker you answer, the more points you earn. So this is why it's very hard for you to get a tie in a quiz. You could have someone that win a quiz that didn't get all correct, with only 9 out of 10 correct, and the person in second place could actually get all questions correct, but he answered them a lot more slowly. I think it's a very good way to run it. That's up to you. Lose points per wrong answers. Depending on, this is where you set how many points per answer. 100 points, set it as default, leave it at that. You set lose points for wrong answers. What happens is, if you get people that are just guessing and trying to get out there quick and clicking it, they lose points at 1/5 per the full points. So if they click the wrong answer, they'll get 20 points deducted. I don't bother turning that on. I just leave it for points for correct answers. Ignore them. That's for survivor mode. I don't think you can turn them on the free tier anyway, but you can explain it with the tooltips. Practice question, you can. I have used it in the past. All it means is you lose one question from your first quiz, because if you turn that on, question number 1 in the first round will be a practice question. It's just answered normally. You still see the scores going down, but when people answer the question, their answers are not counted towards the rest. As soon as you move to question number 2, that's when they start being recorded. Now, multi-game rankings. This is what I was saying about scores accumulating. Once you've created all your 3 quizzes, go into settings and you can connect the other 2 quizzes to the 3rd one. And what this will do is it will add up the scores for each round into one combined score once all 3 are done. I just want to touch on scores for a little bit. Obviously with the free tier you can only have 3 rounds, and set up correctly those 3 rounds will accumulate the score. So at the end of round 3 you'll have a leaderboard of scores. Now if you want more than 3 rounds you're going to have to log in with a second free account to have 3 more rounds, but those scores will not carry on. So ideally, if you've got another person you can rely on who can note the scores down in an Excel spreadsheet, after the 3rd round, once you start round 4, 5 and at the end of round 6 you can add both sets of scores up. I will link a video down in the description of how to set up an Excel spreadsheet with a formula so it does all the adding for you. That's the quiz setup. Now what you get, or you get a code specific to this quiz. Now you can either email people with this URL. If they click on that URL from an email or a text message, it will take them through. So if you sent them this URL, maybe in a text message or email, and they click on that on their phone, it will take them to this screen. That's them automatically logged into the quiz, and all they have to do is put their name in and tap on go. Make sure you ask people to use their real names, but all you do is you get them to put in their name and click on go. And this is the screen they'll have until you start the quiz. If someone joins late, you can just give them the quiz code. All they need to do is go to crowd.live, they'll get a screen, enter the quiz code, and then it'll get them into the logon screen, enter the name and click on go. You are using Zoom, especially if you've got a multi-monitor set up with 2 monitors. You can screen share and show, this is the screen you'll be showing. You'll be showing your projector view. This is what they'd see on their screen. There we go. Just so you can see both screens. So these will be on separate screens obviously. This is the screen you'll be sharing. This is what people on Zoom will see. This quiz game will begin shortly. As they're looking at the screen on their phones, they will see the game will begin shortly. On the screen they can't see is your control screen, and this is this screen here. Now earlier when I said host controls the game, this is where your controls are. This is why we use it. You tell everyone, get ready, pick up your phones, get ready, we're about to begin, and all you need to do is click on play and then OK it, and the first question will come up on the screen, and this is what they'll see on the phone, and all they do is answer. So they've answered, that's what they see on their phone. On the screen it's still counting down. What you can do is you can come down here, you can look at these tabs. You can see the questions, which is right. You can see how many answers have come in, how many percentage have answered. If you go here, you can see what points people are getting. It's 100 points. It starts off with 20 seconds with 100 points and it goes down significantly. And you can see people's points on here, and this will obviously accumulate over the time. If you turn that on after you're in your 2nd and 3rd game, you'll see the points going up, which will include the points from the other games. And this is what I was going about host controls it. Now if that was automatic, like I said earlier, that would immediately go to question 2, and then when question 2 is finished, it'll go to question 3. This is where you can control it. It's gone down to 20 seconds now. The crowd are just waiting for you to go to the next question, and all you do is click on next question. That comes up, it comes up on their phones. Which one, which one, which one? I don't know. But that's it, and that's where on Zoom you can still have a chat with each other. You can still have the banter over the screen as everyone's answering. Okay, so the game's been paused. That's the end of it. What you can now do is go back to question 1. And on the big screen, you can't go through the questions, and you can ask him who says what do you think it is, and get the answers. And you click on show, and it shows you the correct question. Click on number 2, get some audience feedback. Who said what do you reckon? Show them the answers. You can do all that all the way up to obviously number 10. And then once you finish your quiz, make sure you click on stop, which will stop people answering. Okay, this is what they see on the phone. They'll get their player rankings and their score. So that's the end of that quiz. Now obviously you want more rounds. All you need to do now is get people to log into this second quiz. So let's say the second quiz is a sports quiz. It's created a new URL and a new code. On their phone, they just need to click on back and back again until they get to the enter the code screen, enter the new code, enter their name again. They've got to use the same name because that's how the scores will accumulate. Enter the name a second time and they're ready to go. But essentially, you've got 3 quizzes there. All will add up the points for each quiz so long as you select it, and you've got a win there. One thing I haven't mentioned, you do not have to have a multiple choice. You can have text answers. So up to 10. Write your own. So there we go. So obviously you choose 10 for multiple choice. There you go. 10 question text answer trivia. Just wanted to show you this. Host control next. Let's get rid of this. And rock and roll. So what this does, same thing. You type your question in there, however, the question is a text answer. So what you'd put in here, you'd type your question. So you type your question, you'd enter your answer. These are not case sensitive, by the way. So that's the answer, obviously. However, what you can do is add other answers. Now the times I've done this, I've tried to guess how people are going to get their answer wrong, and it's impossible. But you can put a few things down like that, or maybe that. Now you can go along and add spelling mistakes how you think might answer. So long as one of these come up in an answer, it'll be marked correct. Okay, now you do that for all of them, and the game pretty much runs the same. That's what it looks like. What is my name? Type your answer. Submit answer. Simple. Projector view looks like this. There's nothing to show really because it's a text answer. And that's what I use for a picture quiz. On the pay tiers, you can add an image to the question and it appears on the screen, which makes it very easy to do, to have picture quizzes. However, you can't do that on the free tier. There is a way around it. Now, because there's nothing to show on there on text answers on the projector view, I don't use projector view. I use PowerPoint. So this is what they'd see on their screen as you're sharing. On your other screen, you now click on question 2. What is the logo? On the screen, you press down. Watch the timer go down to 0. Timer's down to 0. Click onto question 3. Go down. Whose logo is this? You get the idea. Logos are just downloaded off the internet straight into PowerPoint, and there's 10 of them. What I did for my quiz, I had 5 logos. That one, and that one, and then I had 5 dingbats. Good idea for a quiz. Do you know what dingbats are? Dingbats are these things. What does that mean? Lazy bones. I had lazy bones as a test answer, a test question. Just so I'll show them this, told them what it is. Get ready. This is now question 6. What's that? Bottomless pit. Next one. What's that one? Wet behind the ears. And this is what I said about getting spelling correctly, trying to guess what people would write. There is, once you see all the answers, you'll see what everybody's written, and you'll get some funny ones, you'll get some funny spellings. Even if you haven't put it at the start of the question, what is a correct answer? What you can do is you can mark answers correct. So if you think someone's there, but you didn't predict that that would be an answer, and they spelt it wrong, but you knew the answer, you can mark the question as correct, and it'll mark it correct. So that's just another way to do it. So at the end of the quiz, you'd show your ranking leaderboard again. You'd have 20 people on here. So round number 2 is finished. If you are at show rankings leaderboard, that will show the answers just for this round. Who's come top in this? It might be different from the person in the first round. But as it's now the second round, you can now show multi-game rankings. And when you click on that, it will show who's winning overall at the moment. Obviously, with 20 players, and that's the score for 2 rounds added up. Once you've gone and done the third round, you can show them again. You just click on this one, it'd show the answers just for the third round, and then show the multi-game ratings, which is your final. If you're doing 6 rounds, like I said, all you need to do is create a second free account within Crowdpurr, do another 3 rounds. That's the way I do it. 2 accounts. A break after round 3, go and fill your glasses, log into the second round, make a note of the scores, and crack on. Let's have a look at this setup in Zoom. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what it looks like in Zoom. If you haven't got a Zoom account yet, or you don't know how to operate Zoom, please look at the card up above. That's how to set up your Zoom account. Once you're set up and you've created your meeting, obviously you'll be the host if you're hosting the quiz. Set up your meeting, set it up, give it a name, let everyone know to be here in time, and log in. There we go. There's my ugly mug. Once everyone's on, you would, on this screen, obviously no one can see the screen because you haven't shared it yet. Okay, so this is you controlling your screen. With Zoom open, once you've got everybody on, you click on projector view, which will bring the projector view up on a different monitor. Just to show you that, I'm going to move this out of the way. So it would now show this on the second monitor. And you would share your screen. And there we go, that's what they'd see, that's what would be on their screen, but of course you're on the other screen controlling it. Once you're ready to start, click on begin, and this is what they start to see, and they'll start answering the questions all the way through till they get to question 10. There we go. Once question 10 is done, you'd pause the game, show the scores, and then show the rankings, and this is where the rankings comes up. So your projector view shows all the answers and rankings and everything that goes with it. That's just how you control it. Now obviously that's if you've got 2 screens. If you haven't got 2 screens, it starts going a lot. You can run it from 1 but you'd only be able to show you projector view on the computer. If you've got a tablet, that's fantastic. You could open Zoom on your computer, on your tablet, sign in with a second account on your computer and do it that way. There's many ways around it, but it's very much doable. With Crowdpurr, you don't even need a computer. As long as you can get 20 friends and you know they are going to be there at a certain time, you can just press play and you can see the rankings coming in as you do it that way. There's many ways you can do it, but this is the way we do it with Zoom. There you go. You're now all set up to host your own pub quiz. Let me know how you get on. In fact, question for the day, let me know in the comments, how are you doing your pub quizzes? Just for clarity, I've said this before, I am in no way associated with Zoom or Crowdpurr. I've used them both before. I think they're both good platforms, and combined together you can have some real fun with it. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the like button and give us a comment. Look forward to future videos. It's going to be another Zoom one. However, this time I'm going to show you how to use your mobile phone as a second camera to enable you to demonstrate what you're doing on your desktop. Ideal if you're for instructional videos and that kind of stuff for teaching. But for now, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.